And now we're back again, riding. This is part 2 of my 5K tour. I'm breaking this up into about 10-minute segments because it takes forever for YouTube to render out 5K. That coffee place there, the Human Bean, again, it didn't blow up the pixels on this one. That's the place where Nikki goes. For those of you who didn't watch part 1, I'm doing some stop frames. I've got my GoPro out the window. If it's hard to follow, if you want to look at something, just stop a frame. It should be sharp when you stop the frames. But I'm doing some stop frames where I see some things that are interesting. Or Hardee's on the left, Walgreens, Bojangles. Back to that's where our Tractor Supply is. So that's just shows you how sharp it is. When you stop, you can blow up the pixels, and even though you're artificially changing the size of the pixels, it looks good. We love that Firehouse Subs place there. We get sandwiches from that a lot. The neighborhood Walmart, which is on the north part of town, is over to the right in a minute. And I love going to Oishi Japanese restaurant. That's where I like to get my tofu vegetables. Very excellent vegetables and tofu there. As you can see, the neighborhood Walmart is off to the left. Used to be a Kmart over to the right. Oh, Fort San Juan. It's Juan Pedro. One of the oldest forts in America that was ever built was there in Morganton. Read about that. I had to stop that so you can see what that Fort San Juan Pedro something. Anyway, cannot remember the guy's name. Anyway, worth looking at though. Worth looking into some crazy history. One of the oldest Spanish forts in America back in the 1500s was here in Burke County. And there I stopped that to show you the Linville Gorge is 29 miles away. Now I'm going to head about 3 or 4 miles out of town, maybe 2 miles out of town. I'm going to take a left and come back into town. I thought I'd show you a little bit of the countryside. I mean, what the heck? So you see what it's like once you get out of town in Morganton. A little service area there to the right. This shows us what some of the topography and stuff looks like. We're headed into an area called Oak Hill, and the place where a lot of people buy their boats for Lake James is this place right here. So I did a stop on that, but you see what it's called, Foothills Marine Center. So a lot of people buy their boats and parts for their boats and stuff there in that little area. And Lake James isn't, but I don't know, 5-6 miles away from where we are here. Big old lake, man-made lake. And I go up here and I turn left, and then I'm gonna work my way eventually back around to about where the high school is, the Freedom High School, which is the big high school in Morganton. So this little place is vacant. It used to be a really good little seed shop in there. Now I wish I could buy that place. It's kind of a nice little spot. And there's the old, there used to be a nursery there. I think it's moved. It's moved to another location, but they've left parts of their greenhouses and stuff there. I don't think it's open anymore. It says it is, but I don't think it is. So yeah, I don't do any stop frames. You can stop if you want to. I don't think I do for a good while here. Just showing you what it's like on one of the side roads. What the landscape is like, kind of how it lays. We're in what's called the Foothills region. So it's mountainous around us, but it's hilly where we are. Now I live on a small mountain about 1,700 feet, kind of like the ones you see off in the distance there. Those are called the South Mountains. But the big mountains are far to our right. If we were to turn back to the right, about 25-30 miles, like I showed you earlier there where Table Rock and all is, that's sort of the beginning of them. It's going up in there, and you got Grandfather Mountain. Farther to the south, you got Mount Mitchell, the largest mountain in eastern United States. But the Blue Ridge Mountains start about 25 miles or so roughly from the area where we are here. So we're what's called the Foothills region. It's just a better place to live, a little easier to live down here, and you can go up there and enjoy the mountains whenever you want to. It's a little church here. I think it's a Baptist church to the left. Stop here and take a second, and I think turn left and go back toward what is that church? I didn't do a stop frame on it. But yeah, the thing I like about the Hero 10 is you can be moving along really quickly, and you can stop frame on something. I think I did on a truck or something here, just to show you how amazingly sharp, even though I'm shooting just 30 frames a second. Any frame you stop on, you can stop and you can see the detail, and you can blow the pixels up. It really doesn't seem to matter. I'll usually blow them up 150, 160%. Watch me stop on this truck here. Boom. Pretty good. Now just a tad bit of motion blur. But so we were passing each other about 40 miles each, so about 80 mile an hour. And that's all the motion blur that there was. Just showing you some of the neighborhoods here. So we're going to come out down close to Freedom High School, and that is the big 4A high school in the area. I think the rest of them are 3A. I never played ball against Freedom. I grew up in the high mountains. I played in the 3A leagues, and we would play other sort of smaller schools. I think 4A in North Carolina is maybe 2,000 plus or 2,500 plus. The stop frame there just to show that Banks Huntsman is the guy I'm supporting for sheriff. The election is on Tuesday. So yeah, just wanted to see if I could read his sign, and I did a stop frame on it and blow it up. Yeah, so we're going to come back out here on, I can't remember what this, I think it's called, I can't remember the name of the road. Exit 100 off of I-40. What is the name of this road? I'm having a hard time remembering. That is across the road there is Freedom Park and Freedom High School. So you're going to see it better here just in a moment. I probably do a stop frame on it. I think I do. Easy to do that. Just extract a frame in Adobe Premiere, and it comes out as a ping or whatever, DPX or JPEG, whatever you want. You can blow it up and color correct it. That's Freedom High School. And this video is soon going to be coming to a close. Not quite yet. We're going to go across the river again and go out toward what's called, this is an area called Carbon City. So I'll show you what Carbon City is. And so this is, again, parts of Morganton I've not shown you. There's cross over some creek here, then we go across the river, and there's actually a sort of like a little RV park or something over here where people go camping and go out and enjoy the river, which is a nice river. This is the Linville River, excuse me, I said Catawba River. It's the Linville River, goes into the Catawba River. Or, no, I'm wrong. It is Catawba River, the Linville River goes into it. There's the RV park I'm talking about. So yeah, headed back sort of toward the western part of Morganton. If I were to go straight and not turn left, which I do turn left here, if I were to go straight, this would go on back out to Interstate 40, exit 100. And this is called Carbon City. Why? Because that big plant in front of us there that you can just barely see now, that is SGL Carbon. Used to be Great Lakes Carbon. And so some of the most advanced carbon products in America are fabricated in some of the, I guess, I wish I knew more about it. It's kind of secretive, but I believe they make parts or materials and stuff that are used in, gee whiz, I don't know, like aerospace and stuff and all kinds of other things. Anything you use advanced carbon with, they make it, process it, fabricate it, work with raw materials and stuff there at SGL Carbon across the way. Didn't do a stop frame on it. Did a aerial around it one time. Don't think I ever did post it. I didn't want to go across it because I don't want to get in trouble, but I stayed back from it and shot some aerial video of it. So this is headed back out sort of toward town. I'm headed back east again, going back into town. But again, maybe not shown you this area before. I stopped there just to see what the detail on that motorbike was going to look like. I'm going to end here in about a minute or less. Headed out toward where my accountant is, and where Ingles, the big Ingles in Morganton is, one of Nikki's favorite places to shop for groceries and stuff. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this. Hopefully it's not too aggravating. Give you a really good left and right look. I could just put a GoPro on the front and you just to see the front, but I thought it's kind of cool to be able to turn left and right wherever there are points of interest. Thank you for watching, folks. Part 3 and 4 coming up in future videos.